Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Om. Hare Krishna. Good morning. Such a perfect environment to read and remember Krishna. Read Srimad Bhagavatam, remember Krishna. I thank you for joining in this morning. I'm sure it's raining there also, but it's a wonderful opportunity to spend some time, remember Lord Krishna. So we'll continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the status quo, Chapter 1, entitled Questions by Vidura, and text 16. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Swayam Dhanurdvari Nidhaya Mayam Bhratu Puramarmasu Taditopi Saitthamatyulba Karnavane Gatabhyatho Yadurmanayanaha Swayam Dhanurdhari Nidhaya Mayam Bhratu Puramarmasu Taditopi Saitthamatyulbakna karnavane gato vyatho yadurmanayana Swayam dhanudhari nidhaya mayam Bhratu puramarmasu taditopi Saitthamatyulbana karnavane Gatabhyatha yadurumanayana. Please recite.
Vayam dhanurvari nidhaya mayam Bratu puro marmashu taditopi Sa ittamatyul bana karna bhanair Gato vyato yad urumanayana
Swayam dhanurdhvari nidhaya mayam Brathu puro marmasutaditopi Saitham atyulbana karna bhaner Gato vyathayad urumanayana.
Anyone else?
Swayam Dhanurdhari Nidhaya Mayam Bhratu Puro Marushu Taditopi Saitam Atyulbana Karnabanair Gatayat Gatavyato Yad Puru Manayana.
Hare Krishna. Swayam dhanurdvari nidayam ratu puro marmasutadito api sayitam atyulbana karnapane katavyato ayad uru manayana. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Swayam dhanurdhvari nidhaya mayam Bhratu puro marmasu taditopi Sa itham atyulbana karnabhanair Gata vyatho yad urumanayana.
So we'll do synonyms now. Thank you so much. Swayam, he himself. Dhanudvari, bow on the door, nidhaya, keeping, mayam, the external nature, bhratu, brothers, pura, from the palace, marmasu, in the core of the heart, taditaha, taditaha, being afflicted, api, in spite of, sa, he, Vidura, itham, like this, ati ulbana, severely, karna, ear, bane, by the arrows, gatavyatha, without being sorry, ayat, excited, exited, uru, great, manayana, so thinking. Translation. Thus, being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Purport. A pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by any awkward position created by the external energy of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 3.27, it is stated, Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa ahamkara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. A conditioned soul is absorbed in material existence under the influence of different modes of external energy. Absorbed in the false ego, he thinks that he is doing everything by himself. The external energy of the Lord, the material nature, is fully under the control of the Supreme Lord. And the conditioned soul is fully under the grip of the external energy. Therefore, the conditioned soul is fully under the control of the law of the Lord. But due to illusion only, he thinks himself independent in his activities. Duryodhana was acting under such influence of the external energy by which he would be vanquished at the ultimate end. He could not accept the sound advice of Vidura, but on the contrary, he insulted that great soul, who was the well-wisher of his whole family. Vidura could understand this because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. In spite of being very strongly insulted by Duryodhana's words, Vidura could see that Duryodhana, under the influence of Maya, the external energy, was making progress on the path towards his own ruination. He therefore considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Yet he also saw how the internal energy of the Lord helped him in that particular situation. A devotee is always in a renounced temperament because the worldly attractions can never satisfy him. Vidura was never attracted by the royal palace of his brother. He was always ready to leave the place and devote himself completely to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Now he got the opportunity by the grace of Duryodhana. And instead of being sorry at the strong words of insult, he thanked him from within because he gave him the chance to live alone in a holy place and fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. The word gata vyathaha, without being sorry, is significant here because Vidura was relieved from the tribulations which trouble every man entangled in material activities. He therefore thought that there was no need to defend his brother with his bow because his brother was meant for a nation. Thus, he left the palace before Duryodhana could act. Maya, the supreme energy of the Lord, acted here both internally and externally. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone on this morning. A very, very wonderful verse, educational verse also. I would like to seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. Before I share, and then you can also ask questions and comments and corrections at the end. So here, it's a very profound lesson for, particularly for devotees sincerely pursuing devotional service. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, as Lord Krishna second chapter explains, that there are two kind of people, of course, the divine and demoniac, but devotees and non-devotees in one sense. We can see, devotees have their own different taste, different goal, different purpose of their life. They do not derive any pleasure in this material world. They are here, for the sake of here for some purpose, but their purpose is not, I'm here, I'm acting, I'm doing because I will get some good results and I will enjoy, which is quite opposite for materialistic people. Their only goal is, to increase their sense gratification, sense satisfaction throughout the life, constant endeavor, but never satisfied. So both devotees and non-devotees, they both are engaged in this material world because everyone must act. Everyone has a duty to do. No one can refrain from not doing anything. One has to do. So devotees also engage, whatever they have to do, whatever prescribed in this world. Either in the working in the battlefield or in the king's palace or in the job at home, it's all this devotees are engaged, whatever they have to do. But the thing is, their heart is always in Krishna. Even though externally they appear like they're engaged in the same activity as karmis engage. But the difference is their heart is always in Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna explains in third chapter, the two personalities, they act in the same way. But one is bound by the reactions of one karma, but the other one is free. Is 3.7. Yastuatma ratireva syadatmatatpascha manava atmaneva cha santushtas tasya karyana vidyate. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of the self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. So this is the nature, symptom or responsibility is for the pure devotees who gave their heart to Krishna. They don't work because everyone works because they get some pleasure, even if it's temporary. But devotees, they don't derive those temporary pleasures in this material world. So for them, really not very much compelled to do. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duty. then nor has he any reason not to perform such work. This is again interesting point. One is not, there's no purpose, one prescribed duty, because his life and everything is dedicated to Krishna. But at the same time, nor has he any reason not to perform such work. Nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So here Vidura is citing example of Vidura, we can see Vidura is not an ordinary person. He is a self-realized person. Even though he is engaged constantly throughout his life in the affairs of kingly affairs associated with the Dhritarashtra, he is always endowed with saintly qualities. All these good qualities, saintly qualities. Always wishing well for everyone. And we know that he was wishing well for Pandavas and he was wishing well for Kauravas also. He was not inimical or falsely guiding to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. He was well-wisher. Of course, the Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, the way they could not understand him, they thought, oh, he's always favorable to their enemy, because it is the heart of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. But when it comes to Vidura, he never acted impartially. He never acted partially, sorry. He was always well-wisher of Duryodhana, always well-wisher of Dhritarashtra. Up to last moment, we know an incident. Vidura is such a friend of Dhritarashtra that Dhritarashtra lost everyone by due course of time, by force or by whatever means. He lost everybody. There's only one person who remembered and came and delivered is Vidura at the last phase of his life also. He came and helped Dhritarashtra to come out of this bondage. So we can see the saintly quality. He was feeling bad about their activity, why they are tormenting the Pandavas. But at the same time, he was not envy or he was not angry on them. He was correcting them. In 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's a very nice statements Lord Krishna is giving. He says, what is actually knowledge? And what are the symptoms of one who is situated in transcendental knowledge? Those divine qualities. There's another chapter called divine and demonic quality. That's different. But here, the symptoms of knowledge, what Krishna says, I declare all this to be knowledge. Besides this, whatever they may be in ignorance. And in that he says, humility, rightlessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of the birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amidst pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of the self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. Even if some of them we remember, that's really good. If you look into all these, things, Krishna says, all these I declare to be knowledge. We can understand those who are situated in the transcendental knowledge. Those are situated in the transcendental knowledge, we will find all this quality. And Vidura is perfect example. Everything is there. All these qualities is mentioned by Lord Krishna. Is literally all these qualities are there. And some of the qualities are being proved now in this situation. Why? Because in spite of so much of guidance from Vidura, Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra could not change their mind. And Vidura constantly guiding them as a father, as a friend, as a well-wisher. They're constantly guiding. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they could not appreciate it, literally. They did not appreciate it. But what can you do? You're stuck. If you look into Vidura's position, what you could do, you cannot leave and you cannot stay also in that place. You're stuck in a place that you don't like it anymore. Surrounded by such kind of people, but you're bound by your responsibilities, bonding, the duties. Everyone in this material world is bound with an helpless situation. No one can escape. You look into your life, you want to do so many things. I would like to do this, I would like to do this, I would like to live like this, but we cannot. We are bound. Many times it's helpless. Mm. We are bound under the control of the Lord's illusory energy. Everyone moves just like a bull is controlled. We tie the nose of a bull and control him. So we are bound, we are forced. And I remember, as coming from India, we always say 1 foot in India, 1 foot in America. Right? Because families are there. And especially my mother is not well. I really want to be with her, but I cannot. Even all the facilities, abilities, everything is there, but I cannot. Sometimes, we are bound. I really want to do so many things, but I'm not able to do. Does anyone has experienced such kind of situation that you really want to do certain things, but you're unable to do? It's prohibiting you. Circumstances are prohibiting you or stopping you. Anyone would like to share something? Such scenario, if you're experienced or experiencing. Sorry, I didn't want to put in spot. But in case if you like to share, if you have such situations. No? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I thought let me check if anyone has comment. So if you analyze, everyone is forced to act, stay, and do, bound by the ropes. So Vidura, even though he was a liberated soul, but he was bound for his responsibilities, whether he likes or don't like, and whether he likes or doesn't like, but he has to do his duty of serving the king and brother and helping him. So it's not like Vidura is really attached to the palace. Oh, he was thinking, what will I do if I leave the palace? What will I do? How will I eat? Who will maintain me? Vidura came out of such kind of um, situations, actually. He's free. So Prabhupada writes in this purport, he says, a devotee is always in a renounced temperament because the world attractions can never satisfy him. It's an interesting statement. A devotee is always in a renounced temperament. Let me leave, give up everything and go away. When you're frustrated and when you don't like, let me leave this, everything, go away. Or maybe when I will live in an association of devotees, render devotional service, live in a place, filled with trees and fruits, flowers, conducive for devotional service. Let me live with saintly personalities. What am I doing in this material world, in this city, busy city? So much of trouble, unnecessary trouble. Does anyone has such kind of thinking, thoughts comes in your mind ever? Occasionally, maybe. No? no one is sharing. So here, Vidura's statement is he's living in a palace. He's living in a palace, but his heart is somewhere else. His heart is somewhere else. He didn't like, his heart is with Krishna. His heart is with devotional service, but he's bound in the association of this, Dhritarashtra. But his heart is always hankering for devotional service, living in a secluded place in association of devotees. But he cannot go. He cannot go. But now in this situation, what happened is, it is a shocking for him at the same time. It is also benediction. Why? The kind of words spoken by Duryodhan is not at all a gentleman's talk. His uncle, and uncle is very like a fatherly level. He is a very respectable person. Everyone in the society respects him because of, including the king, because of his knowledge and because of his transcendently situated. A devotee will never have any friend. Sorry, a devotee will never have an enemy in general. For the devotee, basically. Others can see him as an enemy, but for the devotee, no one is an enemy. Oh, he is my enemy, he is my friend. A devotee never thinks like that. So he is a respectable person, as a well-wisher for everybody. But some people did not like him very much. They did not like him very much. And he tried to fix the situation. But when he finally, he scolded his brother, he said, "What are you doing? He was straightforward, basically. You keeping feeding like a snake, feeding your son like a poisonous snake. He'll bite." It was very, Duryodhan immediately broke up and, chastised him, told him, son of maid servant. And when you say like this, a very offensive, it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. And Krishna explains second chapter, for a respectful person, what is that? Insult is worse than, one feels worse than death. Many people, when they get insulted, they cannot take it. Many times they die, they leave their body also. It's worse than death. Death they choose it because death is easy, but they cannot take it. They'll become sleepless. Day and night they cannot sleep. So Vidura is not in that situation. He was afflicted, but in different way. He says, thus being pierced by the arrows through his ears and afflicted up to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. But he was not sorry. What did he do? He immediately took as an opportunity because he wanted to come out of it anyway. He could not come out of it. Now, this he took as an opportunity. He became an opportunist. When external vision, you can see Duryodhan kicked him out. He became very smart and understood the Lord guided him inside, within his heart. He said, there's a right time for me to get out of it. Materialistic person could have been completely hopeless. Oh, what will happen? How will I live? Even at the age of 50, 60, people think same way, 60, 65. I remember a person used to come to temple, an old man, not old man, maybe 60s, still working hard. His wife is working, he is also working. And I learned that why you're working. Oh, my son, my daughter did medical. My daughter studied medical and still she's in debts. So we are working to pay off her debts. For materialistic people, it's very difficult. If something happens, if one becomes jobless, it's very hard. They will be lost completely. They won't know what I'm supposed to do. But for a spiritualist, we can see Vidura, they are the opportunist. Externally, they may show, okay, I got impacted by your harsh words. I'm so disturbed. They give excuse. But inside, they say, wow, well, this is the right time for me. So Prabhupada writes in this purport, a pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by an awkward position created by external energy of the Lord. So, but a materialist person, he gives, a conditioned soul is absurd. He says, I am the doer, and if I am not, then nothing will happen. If I live, how will I survive? All these things are conditioned. But it's not, Vidura did not act like this. Vidura could understand the material energy acted perfectly to help him get out of it. And inside, he got also that realization, hey, this is the right time for me to get out of it and do what I need to do. Do what I need to do. So sometimes such kind of curses turns into benediction. Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj, for Bali Maharaj, even though he had to lose everything, it turned into a blessing for him. Prabhupada, we can say perfect example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada's spiritual master said, you go and preach to the West. I think, exact similar situation we can see. You go to West and preach. Prabhupada, how will I take? How will I do? I have children, I have a wife, I have a business, I have to maintain. He was doing the way he could do, a little bit here and there, whatever way he could do it. It was not very easy for him to come out of it. So many ways. And he wanted to develop his business. He wanted to be a successful businessman. So many things. But slowly, everything was kind of, taken away, destroyed for him. Everything was being destroyed. His business got collapsed, and riot. He became, penniless. His family didn't cooperate, and finally, he was already going on. He had a 2 foot. One is at home, family responsibility. The other one is the order of his spiritual master, a bigger responsibility to this world. And he was kind of juggling between back and home and here, home and here. Finally, when his wife, brought up a situation, sold, I think, Bhagavad Gita, and bought for the biscuits. And Prabhupada says, this is the right time for me to come out of it. It did not come overnight. It was contemplation. It was a desire. It was hankering to do. Being situated in the transcendental knowledge. Prabhupada got that an opportunity. He has also become an opportunist. Then he took sannyas and dedicated. These situations helps the sincere devotees to fulfill their heart's desire, calling of the heart, of their heart, what they want to do. So here we can see Vidura was in wonderful situation created for Vidura. What else could have been better for him than being kicked out of this response? Otherwise, he would have been in war, fighting against Pandavas. Worse. And then he said, okay, sounds very good to me. Duryodhana asked me to go. I think the Lord is working for my own benefit. So he was not sorry, for he considered the acts of external energy to be supreme. So I felt it's a very, very educational for all of us. A sadhu or the Lord can help us in breaking that bondage, is stopping us, binding us in this material world constantly, creating fear. Oh, what will happen if this is not there? What will happen if that's not there? Always constant fear. And Prabhupada says, an elephant, millions of elephants are maintained, millions of trillions of ants are maintained. Every one of us being maintained. But we think that, oh, if I don't do, how will it happen? So we can really be trained under the guidance of spiritual masters who can help us to come out of it. I found this Vidura situation as a very, very as a blessing and wonderful lesson and blessing for him also. So I'll stop it here. It's 8:31. I know I just shared whatever maybe I don't have much realization, but I thought this makes a very good um, subject matter to contemplate. Anyone in your life, you think, how will I live? What is my future spiritual plans? Anything is concerns or any plans you have, anyone would like to share? It's for others' benefit, actually. Prabhupada was telling, I asked for one child for a family. Just giving one of your child. Nobody gave in propagating Krishna consciousness movement. Many of you probably know the situation. But somehow or other we are here, and somehow or other we are in our spiritual journey. I just wanted to see anyone would like to share on your spiritual journey, what the plans and thoughts. Of course, plans and thoughts is to serve more and more. Any particular way, anyone has particular desire. I like to go to Dham and stay there. And at the same time, I like to preach more and more, create more atmospheres conducive for devotional service with trees and plants and cows, like a natural environment. That is always in my heart. Just anyone would like to know, I shared my thoughts. Anyone has any kind of plans? What you'd like to do?
My prayer is that I am able to go visit the dhams. I've not yet gone to Mayapur. I've been to Vrindavan when I was very, very, very young. But I'm praying that it will happen. I think I've not prayed hard enough yet. Krishna has not made it happen yet. So I'll keep praying for that.
Very nice. Yeah, thank you. Narottam Das Thakur says this kind of lalasa hankering is a symptom of spiritual advancement. When I'll go to Vrindavan, when I'll go to Mayapur, when I'll serve the devotees. Thank you, Mother Subharade, for sharing. Really wonderful. At least that's in your desire. Anyone else?
Yeah, actually, as a rightly speaking, me too, my desire is to go to Vrindavan. So,
If you all go to Vrindavan, what will happen here?
some certain thing preventing me. I'm just waiting for the
Services are preventing you? Or circumstances? Is it circumstances or services is preventing you?
circumstances.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate for sharing. We all go through like this. We all go through like this. Anyone else wants to share something?
I would like to do the same thing. And I had been to Vrindavan, I had been to Mayapur. I just tasted a little bit that thing, that how the place will be feeling, I would like to go there, but I don't know what is stopping me. My children are stopping me. What to do? Why are you laughing?
You're directly sharing to your daughter now.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
You asked me.
Yeah.
I would like to go because I had been there already. I tasted and know what the place is. I would like to go again and have that. Now this is the age for me to go. but I'm helpless. I don't know what to do. I have some boundaries to listen to my children. I think like the rest I did. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, very nice. Thank you. That's where is your heart? That's where you are already. If your heart is in Vrindavan, you're thinking, when I will go, you're already in Vrindavan. That's where you are. That's the whole point. The body may not be suitable in a favorable situation to be in there, but wherever your heart, that's where you are in. So,
I'm not worried about my body.
Then we will take you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Suman Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very nice class. And I have been to Vrindavan long time back, but I don't think I saw much there that time. But we have studied a lot about Vrindavan, and now I think there are so many things that we should see and get benefited by their transcendental nature, like Radha Kund, Shyam Kund. I didn't know about that, any of those things. I think there are a lot of temples, maybe 7 temples, I think. I don't know.
Seven are principal temples of Gaudiya Vaishnava, which our Acharyas has established. One should visit, but there are thousands of, more than 5,000 temples.
Small temples, and I would really like to do the parikrama also. So this is the first one in my list. If I am able to go, I don't know.
Well, that's the meditation. This is what is Krishna consciousness is. We hear and we develop desire and we contemplate and meditate on that, and Lord will fulfill.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Vishnupada Prabhu, you want to say something? I didn't hear from you. Is it there?
I didn't have anything about that. I mean, there's some points on the verse that we could talk about, but you're going in a different direction. So.
Yeah, please.
Well, I mean, the background of this verse is that there's an administration. Right? The administration is there. Vidura, although he's born of a Shudrani, he's there giving advice and giving direction to the members of the administration. Sage advice, good advice. Usually it's disregarded, right? Usually Dhritarashtra, and following the influence of Duryodhan, disregards Vidura's advice, even though he continues to try to give good advice. So this isn't the first time that Vidura has been insulted. It's not the first time, but as you pointed out, it's very interesting that it comes to this point that it became the time when Vidura said, "Okay, that's it." So what contributed to that being okay? That's it. Well, you mentioned that now there's going to be the Kurukshetra war. He would have to be perhaps involved. So interesting that he left his bow at the door. So we don't hear about Vidura's bow anywhere. We don't hear about him being in a battle. But apparently he had a bow also, even though he was the son of a Shudrani. But he was acting as if he was kind of a kshatriya. So it's now it's not official, but it looks like he's becoming a vanaprast.
Yeah.
He's going on pilgrimage, and not just to go and visit places, but to actually hear from devotees. He'll hear from Uddhava, he'll hear from Maitreya Muni, etc. So not just to travel, but also the important thing of going to holy places to hear from the Vaishnavas and the advanced sages who live there, who visit there. So that's an important point. So this is interesting. So, I mean, nowadays, there are administrations that don't even want to get advice, don't even hear your advice. So at least in this case, there's some situations where there's an opportunity for Vidura to give advice, but nowadays, in many administrations, we don't even have an opportunity to give advice. They don't want to. Nobody wants to hear what your advice may be. So
Right.
would that considered part of the external energy, or is that part of the internal energy, or how would you say?
Well, that's that in this was in different age. Still respect the Vedic culture was still there being practiced. And now it's in the Kali Yuga, and everyone thinks that there's no Shastra needed. A Shastra is everything they can do, the Shastra without Shastra. So, but at least in devotional service, in Prabhupada's movement, we are supposed to practice.
Oh, so there should be some kind of platform for giving, for exchanging ideas on how to do things. You're thinking.
There's a Shastric advisory committee also there for GBC, right?
Oh, GB, well, we can talk about it on the local level as well.
Yeah, no, that's agree. Isn't it the devotees also? Yeah, they should consult. But here the thing is, those a sannyasi becomes an administrator also in our movement. Right? A sannyasi also is temple president. a guru is also GVC. A guru is also temple president, like that. So in our movement,
I don't know where you're getting that. I don't know where you're getting that idea.
not the idea, the current situation. Chandrasekhar Swami Maharaj, he's taking care of the temple in um, Long Island, or I forgot what is near the New York. So example I'm giving, all the sannyasis they are also in GBC. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the administrators also um, taking help of the sastras. In the Varnashrama system, the specific brahmanas are supposed to guide, because the kshatriyas will not have that guidance directly. They may not have that knowledge. But in Prabhupada's movement, especially I can see the way it is running at this time, the brahmanas are becoming administrators also at this time. So as a president, temple president, he he maybe in as a sannyasi also, or brahmachari, or grahastha. That's what I am saying, and you can correct me. They are still working as GBC, sannyasis, gurus. Vaisesika Prabhu, he's a guru. He's a temple president. I think he's co-GBC. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, I agree is that all these decisions has to be based on the Guru Sadhu Shastra, whatever we do. So no one does take a whimsical decision. So if I hear that you say it's very nice to have a Shastric advisory committee local, that's what you're saying. If I hear correctly.
Certainly something like that might be considered. Otherwise, you have something called a cult.
Yeah. No, it's always good to take advice from the Shastras. Will be safe. Thank you, Prabhu, for bringing. Yeah, but as you pointed out, in the outside of the society, it's all influence of Kali. No one wants to hear anything. All the kings, all the leaders, political leaders, they just make their own decisions without the guidance of Guru Sadhu Shastra. In fact, they don't appreciate. Public won't appreciate anymore at this time, because everyone is lower than Sudra. Or why you're bringing religion into it, right?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Right.
Outside world, I think it's a lost cause. I don't know how we can fix that. Within our society, it's one thing to have rules that we must follow. Administration should follow rules. There should be a system in place. But also, I feel from within, personally, at a personal level, also we must learn to take advice, take instruction, take guidance.
Yeah.
What is it we can do to make people realize and I feel that's where it is. I think I know everything there is to know, and so I don't take guidance. What can we do to inspire people to take on this way? We are saying all the right things. Nobody is saying the wrong things. Everybody is saying Guru Sadhu Shastra. Nobody says I know everything. But they're not actually taking guidance.
Yeah.
That's where the fault line is. I mean, we're saying all the right things. We are insisting on taking certification, all of those, but we are not actually taking it on.
You brought a very nice point. I can give my 2 cents here. It's true. It's true. We need knowledge that, hey, you cannot grow spiritually by yourself. In there's a song called Jagyata Vichare Kichunai Pai Tomar Koruna Sar. If somebody thinks that, oh, if I can do practice devotional service by myself, we are in completely under illusion. And the second thing I realized that a sincere devotee really genuinely really thinks that he wants to grow in spiritual life, then he will automatically understand this. I need now a spiritual authority. I need now guidance. I need now a counsel. I cannot act by myself. So basically, we need to fill the gap. It's not just knowledge we need to give. We have to bring that sincerity in the devotees that, oh, how important devotional service is. Anya vilasata sunyam jnana karmadhi anivritam. One has to be free from, as long as they think, oh, I will have my nice job, nice house, nice everything. I'll give some charity. I'll chant 16 rounds. No, that's good. That's good. But a time will come, I have a feeling time will come, everyone will come to the stage. He'll say, now I need help. That definitely is going to come. I have a feeling. So at least we say that, we give that knowledge, this it's time to call for help. Oh Lord, I need. So Lord will not directly, Lord will come in the form of devotees. And until the seriousness, genuine hankering is not there, you will be pushing only. So it depends on individual's desire, what my goal is, what I want to pursue. I'm comfortable, I'm successful in this material world, I have a lot of money, and everyone respects me, and I'm a devotee also. I'm coming with a nice car. Yeah, that devotion in that platform puts in a complacency, and it doesn't think that I need any guide. But as one purifies further, whatever the reason, one becomes serious. They know my only goal is to have this accumulate Krishna Premadhana, the love of Krishna. Then one will be really sincere. That's where actual initiation happens. All otherwise, my understanding all initiations without understanding its value, without inquiring, is all superficial. Then those who say, oh, my spiritual master. Just spiritual master doesn't help. In ISKCON, we have spiritual masters. We have local devotees, senior devotees who can help and guide us in our development. So it's a question of individual's heart, what he or she wants, what he or she is aspiring for. It's not a collective. Everyone, Bidur had his own experience, even though living in a palace. Bidur has his own experience. We all will have our own experience. And as we continue to do, I have a feeling that, yes, that urge, that sincerity to take a genuine shelter of a devotee will come. Even if I'm initiated, now more sincerely will come. Well, that's my thought. Vishnu, you want to say something on this?
Not particularly. I mean, you got to think of Vidura. Vidura, he was there when they tried to murder the Pandavas, right? He knew about the plot. He, in fact, warned the Pandavas. So, in spite of that that Duryodhana, with the complicity of Dhritarashtra, tried to murder the Pandavas. He still stayed within the administration, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so he was thinking it's better to, well, I don't know exactly what he was thinking, but he could have been thinking, it's better to try to work things out, to try to, at least have an inside position. And so for years, these things were going on. But at this point, he said, that's it, finished. Okay, now I can't help out anymore. That's it, I'm going. And so he did. He traveled for years. Now, for years, he was out traveling and going to the holy places. But at a certain point, he said, that's it, I'm going. That's it, no more.
Right.
No more. You don't want to take the advice? Okay, that's it. See you later. Forget it.
But
And it wasn't just Vidur, by the way. In this case, according to the the different translations of the Mahabharata, including the Purna Pragya translation and the Krishna Dharma translation, it wasn't just Vidura that was giving this advice. Narad Muni gave the same advice. The four Kumaras gave the same advice. Vyasadeva gave the same advice to Dhritarashtra. He rejected all of them. But when Duryodhana came, he didn't attack those people. He only attacked Vidura, which is very interesting. Same advice, but who did he attack? Vidura. So then Vidura left. The external energy encouraged him to leave. Boom.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Well, that's mentioned in where those who are materially too much engrossed, even if you so many education with so many ways you can try to, it will not get into. I'm not able to quote the Sanskrit sloka for this. Remember that even you may try all these endeavors, but it won't be the earth. I think in Bhagavad Gita, yeah. You try to give all this feed in many ways, it won't go. Vyavasayatmika buddhi or desire for devotional service will not come. Vidura tried, out of a setting example, obligation, family, responsibility, everything he tried. But in the mind, he was thinking, just as Rupa and Sanatana Goswami has been instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, do as if nothing has happened, but in your heart, cultivate Krishna consciousness. And the right opportunity will come, will mature, and everyone's desire to render your devotional service or transcendental desires will be fulfilled. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarvyascha kripa sindhuvyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. I am going to India. Some of you are interested, I know. Mentioned in the past. Anyone like to join for Kartik? Please let me know. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
And the prayer for your mom. I hope she feels better soon.
Thank you. Yeah.